Aloha folks, and welcome to today's video. Today's video is a follow-up transit watch from last week. Last week we had our full moon in Aquarius, and it was really highlighting the fact that we had Saturn in Aquarius and that Jupiter would soon be moving back from Pisces into Aquarius, and that movement back into Aquarius is happening tomorrow. That's right, today Jupiter is at 0 degrees Pisces, and tomorrow it'll be 29 degrees Aquarius. So now is a good time to reflect on what's happened the last 2 months, because these last 2 months, Jupiter's been in Pisces, and now these switching signs, switching elements, going from water back to air, we can use our retrospection to gain a better understanding of why the last 2 months were the way that they were. And today I want to specifically use 2 keywords for Jupiter and Saturn. And it's because this video is kind of a transition, because I'll be kicking out another video in the upcoming week about quality and quantity with regard to consuming supplements and how that affects our health. But today I just want to really focus on how quality is a Saturnian trait and quantity is a Jupiterian trait. Jupiter's the biggest planet in our solar system, orbiting the sun. It's expansive, and therefore it gives this large, amplified, big trait. Whenever you have Jupiter making aspects, it's making things bigger. So it's about quantity. Saturn, on the other hand, asks us to get rid of anything that's not essential. It says, what is the most quality things that we absolutely need? Essential. So this movement from Pisces back into Aquarius for quantity, whereas Saturn has been in Aquarius all year, really saying quality, Aquarian quality. And it's basically calling Jupiter back. Saturn is almost calling Jupiter back, saying, we need more quantity here in Aquarius, because sometimes, and I'll be explaining this in my upcoming video, they work together. They need to work together. Quality and quantity are not mutually exclusive. You need a certain amount of quantity, and you need a certain degree of quality. Yes, sometimes you have to sacrifice a little bit or make compromises, but the point, of course, is going to be balance, and I'm going to go into that more in my next video. But today I just want to tie it in with themes of Aquarius and of Pisces. And the more I think about Aquarius, the more I think of Aquarius as this process of learning how to be a team. One of my favorite athletic superstars growing up was Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan is a sun sign Aquarius. And one of the processes that he really had to go through and learn throughout his career, and even post his career as a major league, I was going to say baseball. Yeah, he was in minor league baseball, but major league basketball player, was learning how to be a team player. He was #1 throughout his college and much of his professional career, but he didn't start winning championships until he learned how to play as a team. And that's something that we need to understand about sun signs, is that just because you have a sun sign, whatever, doesn't mean that you are really good at being that sun sign. It actually means that this is the area in your life that's being illuminated so you can see. And the other planets will kind of illustrate the song that you're going to sing in that lit up arena. So for Michael Jordan, the lit up arena for him was learning how to be a team player. And the aspects of all the other planets illustrate the fact that he was just so stubborn for a long time. And if you go out there and you get online, you read books, whatever, and you read about what people have to say about him today, He was so harsh to his teammates. And I don't know if he still is partial owner or full owner or whatever of the Wizards, but he tried to make a comeback with the Washington Wizards, and he's just a really hard team player. And that's what Aquarius is about, learning how to be a team player. And being a team player is associated with sitting on the bench. And that's why in the Thema Mundi, it's so important to recognize that the Thema Mundi puts Aquarius in the 8th house, because the 8th house is often associated with debt and death. But that's almost like sitting on the bench. Michael Jordan never wanted to sit on the bench. So we had Jupiter and Saturn moving through Aquarius throughout the first half of the year. And it's like, how do we adjust as a human family? How do we work as a team, given everything that's happening in the world? The lockdown, the rampant rise in disease. I'm not saying just COVID. I'm talking about the rampant rise in disease everywhere. Cancer, miscarriages, infertility. Infertility is a disease. It might not necessarily be viral or bacterial, but it's a dis-ease. There's no ease in giving birth. There's no ease in getting pregnant like there once was. There is a rampant rise in disease, in disorder, especially mental health. Mental health is closely tied to physical health. Yes, there's emotional and mental abuse that causes that kind of mental health, but people don't realize half the time how much what they eat literally can affect their brain on a physical level. So Saturn is going through the signs slowly, because making anything of quality takes time. It doesn't necessarily take time to make something in a large quantity if the quality is low. Hence, Jupiter can move quickly through the signs, because we're just popping them out. I'm thinking about making babies now. Gosh, just popping them out. But they're half deformed sometimes, right? Like, that's Jupiter just popping them out half. Jupiter's very much like his grandfather in some ways. Uranus, popping them out, half monster babies, half human, half what the hell ever, half goat. Jupiter was really getting around, but Saturn wanted only quality children. He had the 6 main Olympians with his wife Rhea: Jupiter, Juno, Pluto, Demeter, Poseidon, Vesta. Those are the 6 Olympians. And then Saturn's 7th son, Chiron. That's it. 7 quality children. Saturn's good. Saturn takes his time. What's really of quality here? What archetypes, what stories do we really need to carry us forward that are going to help us withstand the test of time and adjust with the changing seasons and cycles? So sometimes you need a lot of something. Sometimes you need a lot of a good quality item in order to get through the winter. And that's basically what Saturn is doing right now. Saturn is saying, come back, Jupiter, because we are starting to figure out in some ways how to be a team. And Jupiter had to move out of Aquarius into Pisces so that we could draw upon the Piscean intuition of being able to piece things together. Pisces, piecing. English is a very funny language, right? If you don't know what Pisces means, it has to do with piecing. Yeah, Pisces wants peace as well. You know, Pisces can be sensitive emotionally. I do associate it with the rain. That has to do with the intuition. But they're trying to piece things together. If you look at the symbol of Pisces alone, you have one fish looking in one direction and the other fish looking in the other, and there is a cord or biblical like cord that attaches the two. So they are trying to piece things together. There's a joke somewhere that says it was a Pisces that made up peanut butter and jelly. You know, whose idea it was to put peanut butter and jelly together? It was probably a Pisces. They don't necessarily seem like they would go together, and voila, man, they do. So how do you create a team out of all these wildly different individuals? How do humans come together as a family out of these wildly different individuals? We needed Jupiter go into Pisces to help make the intuition bigger so that we could make these connections. And now Jupiter's moving back into Aquarius to make bigger the feeling of quality connections, so that we can really be a team. Because next year, when Jupiter goes back into Pisces properly, those strengthened connections that we make in the last half of this year are then going to be, we're going to take it and run and make more and more and more connections. So thank you. That's what I wanted to say. And it's again, it's all tied in with this other transit that's also happening tomorrow. And it'll last really only another day by whole sign, because Mars is there at the tail end of Leo. And it's like, we need to achieve. We need to know who we are as individuals. If we don't keep our finger on the pulse of our own personal individuality, we will get lost in the group. And when you get lost in the group, you don't know who can take over. Thank you.